The two latest reports out of Pittsburgh have left fans somewhere between frustration and cautious hope. On one hand, the Steelers' expensive, supposedly elite defense is looking more like a punchline than a powerhouse. On the other, an unexpected name is gaining serious traction, on the field and now off it, with public praise from one of the NFL's all-time greats. The season is still young, but the warning signs are flashing. And if someone doesn't make changes soon, heads could roll. Meanwhile, there's one player making it impossible to keep him off the field. And it all starts with one big question. Is defensive coordinator Teryl Austin losing control of this unit? Things in Pittsburgh aren't exactly on fire, unless we're talking about fans' frustration. The Steelers are sitting at 1-1, which ain't a disaster by any means. But man, the vibes are off. And the main culprit? That pricey, supposedly elite defense that's been looking more like a hot mess than a brick wall. Coming into the season, this defense was hyped up like it was going to be one of the league's nastiest units. Instead, it's been leaky, inconsistent, and straight-up underwhelming. They gave up 32 points to the Jets in Week 1, yes, the Jets, and then let the Seahawks hang 24 in Week 2. Neither of those offenses strike fear into anyone, so naturally, the concern meter is spiking in the Steel City. Teryl Austin, the man calling the shots on defense, is catching heat, and rightfully so. The blitz-heavy strategy they've been rolling with, it's not hitting. Like, literally. Austin himself admitted it when talking to the media this week, saying, "It almost doesn't do much for us. It almost gets them first downs." That's not exactly what you want to hear from the guy dialing up the pressure. He did toss in a little optimism, though, mentioning the defensive line started to show some life in Week 2. They got a few licks on the QB, which is a start, but it's nowhere near enough when you're blitzing on 41% of your snaps. That's top-tier aggression. You'd think that would translate into chaos, sacks, hits, forced errors, but nah. The Steelers have just 3 sacks and 27 pressures in 2 games. That ranks them smack in the middle of the pack, which is unacceptable when you're bringing the house almost every other play. Even worse, opposing QBs are sitting back with a margarita and watching their reads unfold, averaging 3.04 seconds to throw. That's the 3rd longest time in the league. Blitz that much and still let the QB get comfy? That's not aggressive defense, that's just bad defense. Now, Austin's got a real problem on his hands. The numbers are telling a story, and it's not one he wants to be in. And let's be real, he might be coaching for his job. The Steelers showed in 2023 they're not afraid to make a mid-season change when they canned OC Matt Canada. If this defense keeps flopping with all the money and talent it has, don't be shocked if Austin's shown the door. And if the defense is raising red flags, the second story brings a possible offensive solution, one that just got a major push from a true NFL legend. Aaron Rodgers isn't one to bite his tongue, and after the Steelers' Week 2 loss to the Seahawks, he made it crystal clear. Jaylen Warren needs to be a bigger part of this offense. No sugarcoating, no tiptoeing. Just a straight-up public message to offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. Give this dude the ball, especially through the air. Warren's rushing numbers didn't exactly jump off the stat sheet, 48 yards on 14 carries, but if you actually watched the game, you saw the spark he brought. When things were dragging, Warren was out there making plays in space and giving the offense some much-needed juice. His 4 catches for 86 yards weren't just empty stats. They were some of the only real highlights from an otherwise forgettable game. One of those grabs? A 65-yard beauty that had Heinz Field buzzing. It set the Steelers up in the red zone with the game tied at 14 and a real shot to grab the lead. That could have been the momentum shift Pittsburgh needed, until the drive imploded with a turnover. But that play? That was vintage Warren, showing exactly why this team chose to ride with him post-Najee Harris. And Rodgers took notice. After the game, he told The Athletic's Mike DeFabo, "Jaylen is a great player. We might have to keep giving him more opportunities in the pass game because every time he touches it, something good happens." Translation: Arthur Smith, take notes. This wasn't just some offhand compliment. This was Rodgers, a 4-time MVP and one of the most respected voices in any locker room, practically handing Smith a cheat code. Rodgers has seen it all. He knows what playmakers look like, and he clearly believes Warren is one of them. So now the question becomes, will Arthur Smith adjust? Through 2 games, Smith's been trying to establish the run and work the offense through traditional play-action setups, but the inconsistency is glaring. Warren, with his ability to create mismatches as a receiver out of the backfield, might be the key to unlocking this stale offensive identity. If Rodgers is saying it out loud, You better believe it's something that's already being talked about behind closed doors. Expect Warren's target share to rise, and for the playbook to tilt a little more toward using him creatively in the passing game. It's one of the few things right now that actually seems to be working. And honestly, for a team desperate to find rhythm and identity on offense, what do they have to lose? Let your playmaker cook. Rodgers knows it. The fans see it. Now it's up to Arthur Smith to wake up and make it happen. If the defense doesn't wake up, Terrell Austin might be next to go. And if Arthur Smith can't see what Jaylen Warren is bringing, this offense will stay stuck. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any Steelers updates.